Well, hello again, and welcome back to The Thin Veil with Ezra Lipp. I'm your host, Ezra Lipp. The Thin Veil is a show exploring identity, systems of power, and the narratives that shape our world. Today, I have the distinct honor of speaking with Ahmed Sarsour. Ahmed is a poet and artist from Gaza, currently living in Gaza. He spent much of his life living in Sudan with his family after leaving Gaza at a young age, but when it became unsafe to remain there, they fled back to Gaza and arrived just a few months before the start of Israel's genocide in Gaza. And he is currently living there, experiencing the effects of genocide and displacement. He's had to eat animal feed and go hungry at various times over the last 2.5 years. You can support Ahmed and the efforts he is doing to support his friends, family, and community on the ground in Gaza by contributing to Project Sarsour, which I will link to in the show notes. If you're enjoying these conversations and you want to support me, you can consider giving to my Patreon page or just signing up for a free account. And please like, share, subscribe to the show on YouTube, on all the podcast platforms, leave a review, find us on Instagram, leave me some thoughts there, or at thethinveilpod@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you, but please do leave a review and subscribe and like and all that. It really helps. All right, I'm just going to get into it today. Without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Ahmed Sarsour.
As a Gazan, I don't think I ever had a normal life, I was uprooted from my environment. For the whole time that we were in Sudan, we didn't have anyone. Like, it was a complete strange place for us, for my family, for me, myself. I didn't have any friends. And it was hard. I did struggle to make friends there at the beginning. But after that, when I started calling it home and started feeling like I do belong, the war again happened in Sudan, and we had no other choice but to come back here to Gaza. And we were faced with the same reality, actually. Gaza is not livable. It's an open air prison, And we were supposed to go out, but then we woke up to the 7th of October and the genocide started happening. The border was destroyed and we lost any kind of hope to get out.
Ahmed, what does Gaza look like right now? And can you speak about your day-to-day experience? How do you find food? How do you find water? What sort of conditions are you living in? What are your immediate surroundings like?
The situation now is a little bit better than it was in the beginning of the war. Well, I have electricity now, as you can see, like I have lightning, but this is not permanent and only for a few hours per day, and it is really expensive. The water is still scarce, like fresh water for drinking, and also the water itself. I know that we are near the Mediterranean Sea, but like Israel even controls that. Like, it's not allowed for us to go to the sea and fetch water from it itself. Even they do that in the West Bank. I don't know if you heard about this. Like, they are preventing them from collecting the raindrops.
I just want to pause there for a second. You said in the West Bank, Israel is not allowing people to collect raindrops?
Yes. You don't know that?
I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised. How do you even have income? Is there an economy that I know that things are very expensive? Are you working or is there work?
No, we were not working. Like, as some people call me, like I am a striving artist, but I am not. Like, when I started my social media presence, so I have these friends that they were with me in Sudan. One of them is Carol. She's Mexican. I work with her and Joe. And Emily, she's UK resident. She was also working in NGO in Sudan. And we all left Sudan. And then I think in February of 2024, so almost 5 months after the war started, Carol, she was checking on me and she asked me why I am still here in Gaza. So I told her that we don't have the money that we need to get evacuated because, at that time, they were giving exit permits for Gazan civilians, but in exchange of money, obviously. At times, it reached almost $20,000. So she told me like there's a lot of people who started all of these GoFundMe campaigns. That was like the most common one at that time in the beginning of the war, and they like raise donations and funds from all over the world. And I thought I don't mind if you start this for me, but to be honest, like I have no social media presence. I have social anxiety. This is why I was away. I have panic attacks, and it's always so depressive when I am on social media. So I was away for like almost 5 to 6 years. And when they started the campaign for me, they told me like people need to like know like there's a real person behind this campaign. So I had to show my face as, and I hate this term, I hate this phrase, but I needed to sell my story by showing my face and interacting with the people who are donating, and also like making videos or like just presenting myself and telling my story in my own words. That was in May, and the border was already destroyed. And after that, I felt really, really trapped in Gaza because like I have no one, I have no friends, I barely know my relatives, and the situation was getting worse and worse. My sister's houses were destroyed, my auntie's houses were destroyed, the house were crowded. We invited, I think at time we had almost 6 to 7 families with us. We were sheltering them because like all of the houses got destroyed and there's no place to go to. And I felt really suffocated. And that's when I started writing. I think the first poem that I wrote it was called Day 196. And around that time, though, the Met Gala season was around the corner, and a lot of series, films, and songs they were like releasing, and all the world like they were sharing and attending concerts, festivals, and I was here in Gaza suffering, and I was seeing how people interacting all of this stuff, and they were forgetting about us.
I know you wrote a poem speaking to this exact experience about feeling like the world isn't paying attention. Do you mind reading that for us?
Yeah, of course. So this one, the first poem that I wrote, it was on the 19th of April of 2023, day 196. It is day 196. I am shutting down. I don't feel the urge to eat anymore, nor to breathe. I go to sleep wishing for the next strike to be mine. The suspense, they say. Well, I can't take it anymore. My heart is tired, and I am exhausted of making scenarios that would never come true. They are watching us from above as you are watching from behind your screen. They lie to you and you believe them, yet we are telling the truth on a daily basis and you deny it. How awful is this? I don't bother finding an answer anymore, because the answer lies within the sounds that disturb our sleep every night. It's okay. Go back to your favorite TV show. Listen to the newest album of your favorite artist. We are still here, still standing, and it's either us or them. Thank you.
Thank you. That line about, they are lying to you, but we are telling you the truth every day.
Every day for almost 7 decades. I am trying to narrate everything that was happening to me, like even from many years before this. I'm trying to insert every idea that I have and every attribute about my character, because like I am just a human being like any other human beings. I have social anxiety. I love, I hate, I cry, and I crave, I don't know, attention. Maybe I crave love. And I just want to be like anyone else. Like, I don't want to be misjudged for the religion or like the place where I was born. I didn't choose to be Arab. I didn't choose to be Muslim. I didn't choose to be born where I am. And still I am being judged continuously about this. And this identity I didn't choose. And I'm just trying to navigate and live it and trying to understand and see the good in everyone else. But I don't know why people that are not trying to do the same thing for us. They are still denying us the simplest rights of just being alive and be living in peace. They just want our resources. They just want our land. They don't want our existence. Like, I don't know if you have seen all of these videos that Israelis they have been spreading and talking about, but they think that we are less than humans and they are like the, I don't know, like the chosen race, and they are above everyone else and we don't deserve to be living. Like we should be their servant, and then they can do whatever they want to do to with us. Like, they can kill us, they can torture us, and it's fine. It's even acceptable in their faith. And I have been seeing all of these things, but I'm trying to say, I'm trying to not believe that these things, but I didn't read their book, but at the same time, you see all of these people, like they say, this is like the mission from God, and they are the chosen people of God. But still, they are doing all of these atrocities and all of these things, and you can see that this is like they are not humane at all. Like this is not human actions. Like how come that their God is advocating for violence and for torture, advocating for killing innocent children? So it makes you wonder.
If I could jump in for a minute just to speak to some of the things you're saying, and
Yes, please.
I'm Jewish, as we've spoken about, and so just a moment ago, I think you said something like asking why is this permitted in the Jewish faith, all these atrocities and this level of dehumanization, and I will say it is not. And I would say the things you're describing and the effects of this ideological project of colonization that we can call Zionism is a distortion of Jewish faith and Jewish values. So I just want to make this distinction that there are many Jews, and it is far too little, frankly, that are doing everything they can to try to separate Jewish faith, Jewish values, Jewish tradition from this insane project of violent colonization, which is destroying and murdering your people. It's a perversion of our religion. Certainly what you're seeing now, certainly what the effects you're living through tragically don't have anything to do with Judaism, but it is my assessment that Judaism has been hijacked by this insane, violent ideology.
Thank you for clarifying this. I know like some people were like quoting from Torah itself, so I don't know, like, but they said that like there is a lot of versions. So this is why I told you, like, I'm trying so hard to to not believe this, because like honestly, I don't think that any God will be advocating for such violence and atrocities.
Are you a Muslim?
Yes, I am a Muslim.
So I think it's probably very similar, and I don't know very much about Islam. I'm trying to learn more. I'm fascinated by it. But I can imagine that there is an image, a Western stereotype, let's say, of some people try to portray Muslims as, people like Al-Qaeda or ISIS that are just seeking world domination and this project of violent jihad, converting everyone to Islam and living under repressive Sharia law to make a global Muslim caliphate, and they will commit their aims through violence. And I would love for you to speak to that image, because my intuition is you would say that this actually has nothing to do with the Islamic faith.
Yeah, and that's actually true. Like we are not supposed to be killing anyone or like innocent people or like doing anything to anyone else or like anyone else's faith. And actually, it should be coming from you and from your heart. And like even in Palestine, we have Christians here. They are living among us. And even from before, like when the World War I happened and when Jews were trying to flee Germany and how they have been persecuted in the West, they fled to Palestine and we accepted them. We were living with them in Jerusalem and Jenin and other cities that they are now took as their settlements in the West Bank and most of Palestine. And they claimed it as their own. But actually, we were the ones who accepted them as guests and we were living with them, with the other Christians. And people were okay with that because like we told them, we said that these are our neighbors. We are trying to save them from whatever fate that has been going on for them in the West. But still, they didn't, I don't know, they didn't cherish that. They didn't repay what we did to them back. They just saw that, I don't know, like that we are weak and we won't be even able to defend our land or something. And they started taking something that is not theirs. And now that we are claiming what's originally ours, they say that we are the bad guys and we are the terrorists for like defending our land. And, like even in Convention of Geneva, I think it is said that any occupied country, it has the right to resist. Like even any group in any occupied country, they have the right to resist and they shouldn't be called terrorists. And yet they still call us like all jihadis or Muslims, anyone here, Hamas They call them terrorists, but resistance is not just Hamas. Like there's a lot of groups here. Like I don't even know most of them. I told them like I have been away for 21 years and I just got back here like before the war for about 4 months only in the first of June 2023. And there's like a group that is called Jihad. There's a group that is called Al-Qassam. There's a group that is called Fatah. There's Hamas. There's even some communist groups and everything. And all of these are parts of the resistance, but they only focus on Hamas and they always call the resistance our terrorists. But we are not terrorists. Like by the international law, we are not.
People have made the argument, even if you do understand why a group like Hamas would take arms and have a violent resistance act like they did on October 7th. And I understand it is in response to a long history of oppression and violence and poverty and siege and blockade imposed on your people. However, some people would still argue that, well, clearly it was misguided because look at the shape of Gaza now. And I don't want to place the blame on Hamas for the genocide that Israel has been enacting on Gaza. I think that's misguided to blame the perpetrator of that. What is the feeling amongst yourself, people you talk to, friends, family, when you think about Hamas and other resistance groups that were part of the Al-Aqsa flood operation on October 7th?
I understand what you are saying. And after all, as I said, we are all human beings here in Gaza. So we did feel our losses. Like we didn't only lose our precious belongings, like almost 80% of Gaza is gone now, all the buildings, everyone, but also like more than 100,000 people have been killed. And like there's no education system now, there's no healthcare system. And I know there's some resentments here on the ground, but that was inevitable. Like that was happening whether we like it or not. It was happening sooner than later because the US allowed them to do that. Like they were sending them weapons, they were sending aid. It's not like they could have done all of this by themselves. If they were left alone, I don't think that they would. And like the whole world is complicit, but the main supporter of the Israelis was the US. And they are the ones who let that happen. And as I told you, that was inevitable because like, you see now how the US like attacking Venezuela, attacking Iran, attacking Cuba. They are trying to take all of the resources to themselves, and then they're like playing the victim card also as Israelis. It's like they are one, like two faces of the same coin. I know there is some resentment here on the ground because like we lost everything, but that was coming to us. Like even if it wasn't happening in 2023, it was happening maybe in 2025, maybe it was happening in 2030 or something like that. Because like they do want us gone. They do want to take over Gaza. And you saw how Trump was really happy about what's happening in Gaza when they start like our immigration plans, and he said that he wants to make Rivera Gaza. He wanted to control it because like he saw an opportunity, an economical opportunity, and he wanted to take over. So this is why he let the Israelis do whatever that they are doing.
So would you say that that sort of view is something that is commonly understood from people on the ground in Gaza, that still there's less resentment for Hamas and they view it as like this was just a continuation of what's been happening to you? Or are there people that are very angry?
If you want to go to the root of the problem, it's not Hamas, it's not the resistance, it's not that we hold our weapons or like hold our dignity and trying to defend ourselves, because like I told you, this was going to happen. We were going to resist one way or another. Maybe they don't fully agree on the approach that Hamas took, but even though that wasn't Hamas' fault, it was how the world acted against Hamas, and they let them do whatever that they are doing to us. It's not like Hamas was the sole reason of what happened to us. Yes, they did take action, but imagine if Hamas wasn't even in the picture, like Fatah or Jihad or any other resistance group. They will be doing the same thing, and then are we going to blame the resistance itself? We shouldn't be doing that. And they are trying to divide us with these views and saying that Hamas is the reason why we are now living in this situation, and Hamas did this to us. But Hamas didn't do this to us. Israelis did do to us, and they have been doing for almost 7 decades. Like I told you, half of the population of Gaza is immigrants. Like people are being displaced from Nakba in 1948. So how can you how people can imagine that they are not doing the same to us again?
Can you share another poem with us?
Yes. I will just read the poem. As I said, it's called Crocodile Tears. Mid-gala fame, looked like a Hunger Game. Mid-gala dresses and mid-gala shoes. How much money had been spent on these outfits and this muse. Let them eat cake, a celebrity said. What a shame. A mid-gala shame, reviving Hunger Game, but who's to blame? A California dream with LA's modern gleam. A weather forecast that was never foreseen. Mid-gala's heroes, representatives of Hollywood, their houses burned by a similar fire once overlooked by James Wood. No ceasefire, no compromise, nor forgiveness. Those were his lines. He used them knowing a death toll is growing, then asked you to look away and for you orchestrated a play. Kill them all, said filled with rage. Make them suffer, trap them in a cage, send them all back to the Stone Age. LA burning scene, a dreadful echo of Jabalia's camp scene. Hollywood actors, tears on screen, but still it was nothing compared to my people's scream. To the world, their tears were truthful, and our deceitful. What a world we live in, where selective empathy is a thing. California burned, ashes upon ashes, memories destroyed as fire clashes, a big traffic jam, cars and precious belongings left behind, running to survive, no class, no favoritism, in a perfect entangled fire prism, with smoky curls blanketing any vision. Wind braided the fire flames and laid them on houses' frames. LA screams echoed into our souls, opened the wounds that keep on soul as much as some deserve what they have lost. Others can be plain paying the cost of the evil schemes, raising funds and sending lots of money streams to the monstrous ones, the thieves of our dreams. Gaza's humanity saved them, it never failed them. No laughs, no gloat, never wish death crawling up their throat. Our humanity remained intact as we Gazans praised the Lord to save them from nature's attack. But 2024, mid-gala celebrities refuse to answer the call. They attend knowing a death toll is far more growing, worshipping fake idols, praising false gods. They are complicit, making humanity their purge away from the cause. Mid-gala season has passed, a page filled with diabolical facade. They cheered for those same forces, the ones exploiting all natural resources. They trying so hard, changing humanity courses, bringing destruction all over the globe. They intend to steal the power of your hopes. So open your eyes, be woke. Tell Haley Bailey, Mr. Woods, and their folk they should consider eating cake, since it finally tastes a glimpse for her sake. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you speak more about the reference to the Hunger Games there?
So, yeah, for Mid-Gala 2024, they did actually made a theme similar to the kind of dresses they were dressing in the Hunger Games movie. And that was around the same time that we were starving here in Gaza and facing a genocide. And we were asking for like the basic necessities, just flour, water, and stuff like this. So at that time, my GoFundMe campaign goal, it was the same as one share at the Met Gala. It was $70,000 to book a ticket at the Met Gala. And if you want a table, it will be like, I think with 4 shares, I think it is $300,000. And people were paying that, artists, activists, influencers, they were going to Met Gala. And instead of like giving these funds to Palestinians who need them to survive, to evacuate from the Gaza, from the G Strip, they chose to like look away and put like blindfold in their eyes that, it doesn't cost you much to be a human being, and talking about the atrocity committed, even if you think it's really far away from you, but the world is really small after the discovery of internet and social media and technology. And how come people still think they can be ignorant and they shouldn't think about anything that's happening in the world? Like we are all living with each other. Like we need to be together and survive together and live in harmony and live in peace. Why some people choose to look away and like leave us suffer like this? And the idea that people have that they can't make a change and they can't like communicate with each other, it is something that all the capitalist and imperialist countries are built off and for and on. But because they are trying to divide us. But like if people started to talk with each other, if started helping each other, we will be all one. And they won't be able to stop us at all. And this is what they are afraid of. I know that we can and we are able to defeat them and have the power to ourselves, because like we are the ones who are going to make the change, and we are the ones who will be eventually in control and in power. So thank you for having me and for like supporting my voice and spreading the stories
Ahmed, thank you so much for joining me today. Do you want to leave us with one final poem?
Yes, of course. One final poem for the audience. Well, I guess since we are leaving our audience, at least I would leave them with some hope. So this poem, it is called A Promise. I did write it because I have been at the same time that I have been facing a lot of discrimination on social media, but at the same time, as I told you, I started this amazing community in Discord, and I have more than 300 people there. Almost 20 or 30 people are helping me with making edits, making posts on social media, and controlling my social media platforms. And they are helping me, and that gave me hope, and I felt seen and appreciated because having the supportive people is always something really great to be grateful about. So I wrote this poem out of that, like an inspiration of the people who have always been there for me and supporting me. And everyone and anyone can be one of those people, and everyone can join my community. It's actually on my Linktree, so everyone is welcome to join. So as I said, this poem is called A Promise. This must end. You promised you will never bend. Always be my friend. Together till the end. So let's not waste time. Let's burn the den of crime. Oh, word awake, lend a helping hand to heal this wound across the land. Hear my pleas, my lone demand. Shade your peace above my land. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and there you have it, Ahmed in his own words. Ahmed, thank you so much for coming to the show. Please, everyone, don't forget to contribute to Project Sarsour. He's doing really great fundraising work to help people on the ground in Gaza experiencing the effects of Israel's ongoing genocide, displacement, and hunger that they are inflicting on the people of Gaza. The music you're listening to right now is Magic in the Other, my band. We will be performing May 31st at the Ivy Room in the East Bay in California. You can find tickets for that show below. It is a benefit concert for United for Dignity Alliance. It's called the Mixtape for Palestine concert. We will be there with lots of other amazing artists. You can read about it and buy tickets below. The show will sell out, so get your tickets while you still can. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you all. Keep helping me get the word out about this show and doing what you can to free Palestine. All right, thank you for being here. I will see you next week, trying to release these episodes on Wednesdays, and take care of yourselves and each other. Salam.